I got a patron request from Franklin to review the Indian film RRR, which received a lot of attention a few years ago, even outside of India, and won an Oscar for Best Original Song. Now, I have to confess I've not delved that much into Indian cinema, although I recognize they have a massive film industry. A lot of Westerners just associate Indian films with Bollywood, but it actually encompasses a lot more than that. After all, almost 1.5 billion people live in India, with the country being home to multiple languages. Bollywood specifically refers to Hindi language films. RRR is a Telugu language film produced in Tollywood, which is on the southern part of India, as opposed to Bollywood, which is situated in the west. I find it's always important to know these sorts of things when discussing another country's cinema. Anyway, what did I think of the film itself? I definitely see why it impressed people and gained a significant audience, as it's an entertaining and well-made movie. The two lead protagonists were based on real people, which actually does not matter because the story is entirely fictional. The director, S.S. Rajamouli, just wanted to tell a story where these two revolutionaries who fought for India's independence from British rule met each other even though they never did in real life. RRR is basically his fan fiction, with him specifically citing Quentin Tarantino's movies as an influence. The movie even begins with a disclaimer acknowledging that the story is made up. I thought the film was able to develop the two leads very well and delve into their specific strategies for defeating the British Empire. Bhim and Raju both lead a double life, and it's interesting seeing how they play these dual roles and the effect this has on the friendship that develops between them. Bhim does a particularly interesting thing where his voice changes depending on whether he's a revolutionary or mechanic, and Ram Rao does a good job of depicting that. The plot goes down some intriguing roads, they find out more about each other, and they deal with the complexities of that. There's also interest in seeing Bhim save his sister. The filmmakers managed to snag a few notable actors to play the villains, who are made to be as evil and mustache-twirling as possible. Ray Stevenson digs into the role of the Governor General with relish. Meanwhile, Alison Doody, who is most well known for playing Elsa in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, plays his wife and similarly does not flinch in showing the character's dislike for the Indians. A major selling point in the movie is the action, and Rajamouli goes all out in putting them together. At no point does he seem bothered by the laws of physics and lets his imagination run wild, whether he's showing hand-to-hand combat or the crazy things done with animals. The film also contains a few musical numbers, with Natu Natu being the one to understandably receive the most attention. It's a very catchy song, and the choreography is full of energy. There's even almost a Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire feel to the way they use their costumes and the setting to their advantage. I can definitely see why it caused a sensation and would eventually win the Oscar. It's a credit to Rajamouli that he also handles the different tonal shifts. This is a movie that features a lot of brutal scenes with the English mistreating the Indians, and Bhim's main motivation is saving his kidnapped sister, and yet it never becomes jarring when characters suddenly burst into song or when there's a crazy action sequence. I do think the movie overdoes it with the slow motion, which it has a lot of. This film would probably be about 20 minutes shorter if the slow-mo portions were played at normal speed. I also did feel the pace slow down just a tad at a certain point, but it did not take long for RRR to rev up again, especially when Bhim unleashes the animals of the palace. Like I mentioned, this is a Telugu language film, but that is not the version I watched. For some reason, Telugu is not among the several language options on Netflix, so I instead watched RRR dubbed into Hindi. Normally I would not be bothered to watch a live-action film dubbed. However, this is an exception, as the film's actors actually dubbed themselves for the Hindi dub. It's closer to something like Italian spaghetti westerns, which also involve the actors dubbing their own lines, as opposed to, for example, watching a Godzilla movie dubbed into English. As a result, I did not find it distracting at all, and from what I can see, the actors were able to transfer their performances to the Hindi language. Overall, I was entertained by RRR through its 3-hour runtime, and as crazy as some of the action sequences got, S.S. Rajamouli also never forgets the importance of developing the characters at its center, along with showcasing the themes on friendship and colonialism. Even being aware this is essentially historical fiction did not lessen the enjoyment. RRR becomes a well-done action spectacle, some fun music, and dancing to boot. Now, if you've seen the movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for the request, Franklin.